Welcome to the channel, and with it being the fall season, I figured what better time than to talk about one of my favorite slashers from the 80s with 1984's The Mutilator. It's a pretty cheesy horror film, but with some very memorable kills. It was written and directed by Buddy Cooper, who had come into some money in the early 80s, and he had the choice to either buy a vineyard or use the money to make a film, and obviously he chose to make a movie, but Buddy wasn't a filmmaker, nor did he go to school to be one, but he read a news article that said, you learn more actually on the set of a film than you do by going to film school. That's actually the same bit of advice I got from someone years ago. Buddy did take a couple summer courses, with one of them on screenwriting, and the teacher of the course was John Douglas, who would help Buddy in directing The Mutilator and would actually have a few of his students be part of the crew for the movie. The movie was shot in Atlantic Beach and Morehead City, North Carolina, where Buddy Cooper was from. He hired some locals as actors for the movie, like Bill Hitchcock, who was in a bar where he heard they were casting for a film that was being shot in town. So he auditioned for Ralph, and he actually impressed Buddy with some magic tricks. So he got the role, and well, it actually helped that his personality was what Buddy had envisioned for the character.
Be careful.
Well, I certainly will.
Ben Moore, who plays a cop in the movie, was another local and apparently had the whole town come down to the beach to see them film his death scene. And to this day, the movie is still fondly remembered and celebrated in Atlantic Beach. The movie opens up with a flashback with it being Ed Sr.'s birthday, who goes by Big Ed, and his son, Ed Jr., is cleaning his hunting guns, but in doing so, he accidentally shoots his mother in the back, killing her. Big Ed comes home and has a psychotic break as he props up her dead body next to him as he pours himself some whiskey, and he actually even pours some of it into her mouth. And fun fact, Buddy Cooper's wife played the mom in that scene, and Buddy's son played Ed Jr. in that scene. We then flash forward, and Ed Jr. is a college student, and he and his friends are discussing what their plans are for fall break. Well, actually, what their lack of plans are. Also, I think fall break is referring to the long weekend for Thanksgiving, but it's never really made clear. Fall break was the original name for the movie, but when Buddy was shopping the movie to a distributor, they hated that title, so they went with something a little bit more marketable. An advertising firm came up with the name, along with a new tagline for the movie, even though it's kinda inaccurate because no one dies by a sword or a pick, but the killer does use an axe, so that's correct. Anyway, Ed Jr. gets a phone call from his dad telling him that he needs his son to go lock up the beach house for the winter. Ed's friends see this as a good place to party for fall break, so everyone packs into Ed's car and we are treated to the amazing theme song for the movie.
We're going on now. A fall break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight.
That song is catchy as fuck, and it automatically makes this movie a 5-star film. Anyway, our 3 college couples arrive at the beach house, but the place is unlocked, and it looks like someone's actually already been partying there. Ed Jr. kinda dismisses it and says it's probably just a leftover mess from his dad. He then shows off his dad's various fishing and hunting trophies, but he notices his dad's battle axe is missing. I wonder if that's gonna come back into play. His girlfriend Pam is very weary about the missing axe, along with the house being left open, and she's very much the voice of reason in the film, and is the prototypical final girl as well. So while everyone gets acclimated, we find Big Ed passed out in a closet in the garage, and he's having these dreams of murdering his son, either by strangling him, shooting him, or slitting his throat. The special effects for the film were done by Anthony Shout and Mark Sjostrom. Sjostrom is a great special effects artist, and he's worked on films like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and 3, From Beyond, Evil Dead 2, Deep Star 6, and Phantasm 2. We then see Mike and Linda take a late night stroll down the beach and come upon a pool with some murky water. The crew had to dump tons of milk into the pool to make the water less opaque. So Mike and Linda go skinny dipping and play a game of tag, as couples tend to do when they're just by themselves in a pool, but anyway. Big Ed sneaks into the pool and drowns Linda, all the while Mike is somehow just oblivious to all of this. He then goes looking for Linda, and Big Ed leads him back to the garage by dropping items of clothing along the way. Mike then opens a door and is butchered by a boat motor. When filming the scene, Mark Sjostrom had made a fake torso to get cut open by the motor, but he made the appliance out of latex, and the rubber just couldn't be sliced open by the motor, so we get this hilarious death scene instead. Maury Lampley's acting is just so over the top, and I love it. We might not have gotten to see the intended death, but they did a good job pivoting to the blood spray and showing us the aftermath. The other two couples aren't there to hear the mayhem as they are walking the beach, and they bump into a cop, and Pam tells them that the condo may have been broken into, so the officer goes to check it out, and Big Ed sticks a machete in the dude's face, then beheads him with the battle axe. Big Ed then starts to mount his kills in a closet in the garage. Ed Jr., Pam, Ralph, and Sue get back to the beach house and decide to play a game of Blind Man's Bluff, which is basically a version of hide and seek. I've never heard of this game, but one person hides while everyone else waits outside and pounds a beer before they go looking. It's a very odd scene because the actors have to pretend like they can't see anything when there is clearly enough light. Also, Sue is like barely even fucking hiding. She's like up against the wall, hiding behind a cooler. Like seriously, like that's the best hiding spot you can come up with, but whatever. Anyway, after the game, Ralph goes to look for Mike and Linda before locking up the condo for the night, but he gets surprised by Big Ed and gets a pitchfork through the neck and gets pinned up against the closet door. Apparently, this took them all night to shoot the scene. Pam, Sue, and Ed are worried about how half their crew is missing, so they set out to find them. Big Ed singles out Sue, and this kill is probably the most infamous and the most gruesome. He strangles her and puts her on a workbench and takes a fishing gaff and sticks it up her jam, and then it comes out through her stomach. It's absolutely brutal, and the first time I watched this, I was just shocked. Like, is he really, or like, wait, did he just stab her where I think he did? And it was like, yep, that just happened.
Oh, gnarly!
And when they were filming it, a female crew member was so upset and disgusted watching that, she actually started to cry and had to walk away from the filming. And to cap off the brutality, Big Ed once again uses his battle axe and beheads Sue. Ed Jr. and Pam then discover her body along with the rest of their friends. Big Ed gets the jump on them and ties up his son and stabs him in the leg. Pam, the final girl, springs into action, throws a pyramid sinker and nails Big Ed in the face. She then stabs Big Ed in the chest, picks up her boyfriend, and they try to escape in a car, but Big Ed, he ain't done. He gets on the hood of the car and continues to go after his son. Pam burns him with a cigarette lighter and backs the car into a random cinder block wall, splitting Big Ed in half. Ed Jr. is mortified that his dad is the killer. The cops show up, but Big Ed is resilient enough to chop off one of the cops' legs, and that cop is actually played by a friend of Buddy Cooper's, who was a war vet that lost his leg, and Buddy found the perfect use for him in the movie. Big Ed then has a laugh before dying. The movie ends with Pam and Ed consoling each other in the hospital. Then we get Fall Break playing again over the credits. I thoroughly enjoy this movie. Does it feel like a movie made by a first-time director? Yes. But I still gotta give Buddy credit. There's actually some foreshadowing that I picked up on this time around, like with Sue asking what the fishing gaff was, which is what Big Ed uses to kill her. Also, Mike talks about getting hit in the head with a pyramid sinker, which comes to fruition thanks to Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
Also in that scene, Mike asks if this is the boat motor that Big Ed accidentally ran over some dude with. I think in the picture that Ed shows everyone, I believe that's actually a photo of Buddy Cooper. So there was some clever setup and payoffs. Plus I thought it was smart for Buddy to create a killer that uses fishing equipment to differentiate from the myriad of slashers that were coming out at the time. Also, I learned that Buddy picked up a smoking habit and would just chain smoke on set because of the stress that came with making your first film. But he did quit as soon as filming wrapped, so kudos to Buddy Cooper for quitting smoking, a habit that I still struggle with. The movie didn't get a wide release because of the graphic violence, so it struggled to make money at the box office, but it would quickly develop a cult following thanks to the VHS release. In 2016, Arrow Video put out this Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. It's sadly out of print right now, but there's still some copies available on eBay that won't cost you an arm and a leg. I think there was a limited edition that came with a booklet, but I have the standard release. It's a great looking transfer. There are some scenes that have a bit of extra grain to them, but that doesn't really bother me. Not sure if the film elements they had would be good enough for a 4K transfer, but we'll see. I don't think this will be out of print for long. It's just too big of a cult film, and horror fans love their physical media, so some label will announce a new edition sooner than later. As for this release, it has a feature-length documentary on the film, and this is the second Arrow Video release I've talked about in a row that includes a documentary, and I miss when they did these documentaries. I prefer them over a series of separate interviews, but I'll take as many special features as possible. This documentary is great and features a lot of the cast and crew, and they share their memories of making the film, and it ends with them expressing hope for a sequel, which we did get, but I haven't heard anything good, but I'll check it out someday. There's also a separate interview with Mark Sjostrom, and he talks about how he got involved with the film, and what went into the various effects we see in the film, and the ones that didn't work, unfortunately. Also, the original ending was supposed to have Big Ed get cut in half by a drawbridge, but it wasn't possible logistically, but I'm still happy with the ending that we got. Mark also says this was the most fun he had working on a film, along with it being the best experience he had in his decades-long career. Another special feature I want to mention is the interview with composer Michael Menard. He talks about how he came up with the Fall Break song, and it's a fucking shame he wasn't nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song. This release also has reversible artwork with the original title for the movie and the original poster. Thanks for watching the video, and let me know what your thoughts are on The Mutilator, or whether you're convinced to check the movie out now. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a movie time.